Star Wars Epic Duels game. Yes, if you've not heard about this game before, it came out in 2002, published by Milton Bradley here, and it is just a nice, huge, expansive skirmish game where you can revive classic duels or create your own with, yes, 31 painted figures. And if you don't know, this is where it all began. Restoration Games found this game, and they revitalized all of the mechanics, made it a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more cohesive, and updated it for the modern audience. And they came out with Unmatched. Yes, this is where Unmatched began. And now that in Unmatched we have 50 plus fighters that you can collect, I thought we needed to go back and check out the originator of Unmatched, Epic Duels game. So yes, in Epic Duels game, you have 12 different characters you can pick from. Just like Unmatched, all of these characters will have a major character and their sidekicks here. They call them major and minor characters instead of hero and sidekicks like we've seen with Unmatched. But in this set here, yes, you got 12 different characters, 6 light side, 6 dark side, all with their own miniatures here. They have their health tracker as well as their decks of cards, and then of course maps to battle on. So yeah, if you have not heard about this game before, I'm very excited to show you. And if you have heard about this game, you know how fantastic it is. So yes, for the people who don't know about this game, let's learn how to play it. So just like in Unmatched, the first thing we need to start with is our map. So you might notice right away that the maps are quite different than what they had in Unmatched. It originally was this grid style here where you could move to adjacent spaces, and then range fighters would just attack in a straight line instead of the zone system that we got in Unmatched. Definitely like the zone system a little bit better, but it's very cool to go back and see where it all originated. So in Epic Duels here, you have 4 different maps. They are double-sided here. We have the Camino platform here from episode 2. On the back of that, we also have an episode 2 here with the Genosis Arena here, one of my favorite maps from this game. And then on the back here, we also have the Emperor's Throne Room from the, I believe, 4th movie or 5th movie, whichever one that Luke meets Darth Vader, so probably the last one, but I'm guessing they probably were in the throne room before then. And then on the back here, we have the Carbonite Chamber. Where is our name here? Yes, the Carbon Freezing Chamber. Right in the middle there is where Han Solo gets frozen in, I believe, the 5th one, the 6th one. I always get the 4, 5, and 6 timelines mixed up. But yes, in this game, you have 4 different maps here. So for this example of how to play, we're going to start here with the throne room. And just like I was saying, the grid pattern here is how we're going to be moving around and seeing line of sight for ranged fighters. But the other thing you might notice is that the starting space is a little bit different. Each character has their own different starting space. So in this game, you always will have one person pick the light side and one person pick the dark side, and then they will start in a specific spot. So we have Count Dooku here, Darth Maul, Jango Fett. They all have their own little starting spaces. And then on the other side of the board, we have all of the light side heroes here. You can see like Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So we will place that right in the middle of the table there. And then so for player 1, we will need to pick our Darth side character here. And so we have Boba Fett here, and I do want to quickly go over these health cards here. As we can see, our top character here is going to be our hero, aka the major character that we have in this game, and then the bottom is going to be their sidekick, aka the minor character in this game. So we're already seeing the exact similarities of where Unmatched came from here. So all of our characters have their health tracker here. So Boba Fett has a max of 14 health, and you will take these little cardboard stars and you'll place them on there and move them down as you take damage. Then blue is going to be where you die. And just like in Unmatched, as long as the major character dies, you have defeated the opponent. You don't have to worry about the sidekick, but obviously killing them off will make it a little bit easier to take down the hero. And then the other thing here is characters will be melee, which means there's no icon on the bottom here, or they will be ranged with this little blaster banner. So in this case, Boba Fett here is a 14 health hero that is ranged, and then Greedo here is a 7 health sidekick that's also ranged. And then just like in Unmatched, you can also have sidekicks that have multiple sidekicks here. So these are the super battle droids for Count Dooku here, and he's all the way an 18 health hero, and he is going to be melee, obviously, with his lightsaber. And then his super battle droids, he has 2 of those that they're both ranged and both at 5 health. But yes, so if you have not seen the roster before, we have Count Dooku here with his battle droids. And then we also have Darth Maul here also with battle droids, 18 health, but only 4 health for each of these guys. And then next is Emperor Palpatine, a melee character, with his 2 sidekicks, the Royal Guards, that are both ranged. And then we have Darth Vader here, a 20 health hero with 2 stormtroopers that are both ranged. And then lastly, Jango Fett here, a 15 health hero that's ranged, with Zam Wesell. I love that they included Zam here, that is also ranged with 10 health. So yes, so for this example, player 1 is going to be playing as Darth Vader. We are in the throne room. We might as well pick big old Darth Vader here. So you will set that to the side, and then you will grab these little cardboard punch-out health markers and place them on the red spaces so that they have full health. And then the next thing you're going to need is the miniature. So just like in Unmatched, you're going to get a nice miniature here. These ones are fully painted, and they are this kind of like squishy rubber, not rubber, but plastic. So they're a little bit bendy to themselves. And then all of the Sith heroes, or the dark side characters, all have a black base, while the good side has white bases. So a little bit easy to keep them apart from each other. So we will place him on the Darth Vader starting space. And then he has two sidekicks that have full miniatures here. One thing you might notice is they have these little notches here. So you have two notches here. So this is Stormtrooper 2. And then on here we have a one notch. This is Stormtrooper 1. So as you can see on the side here, we have Stormtrooper 1 and Stormtrooper 2. And then you can place them in any of the adjacent 8 spaces around Darth Vader. So we're going to place them right in front of them so they can protect Darth Vader. And then the last thing you're going to need is a deck of cards here for Darth Vader. And you might notice here, but obviously you can't tell from my hand, but they are a little bit smaller. I believe regular Unmatched cards are the size of like poker cards, so they're a little bit bigger. These ones are quite a little bit smaller. It's kind of fun to hold them in your hand. And then we can actually quickly take a look at these cards, and they are a little bit different than what you would see in Unmatched. A little bit of reminiscent here, but we can look at these in just a second. So we'll place those off to the side, and then we need to pick our light side hero. And then for the light side here, we have quite a few options. Once again, 6 light side heroes and 6 dark side heroes. So on the light side here, we have Han Solo, a ranged fighter with Chewbacca as his sidekick, a ranged sidekick. Then we have Anakin Skywalker, that's melee, with Padme, that's ranged. And then we have Yoda here as the hero with 2 clone troopers that are both ranged. And you might notice here that it says 3 and 6, so there's 6 clone troopers throughout. And instead of giving you different sculpts for each one, they're just labeled 1 through 6. So just in case you have multiple of them on the board there. And then next here is Obi-Wan Kenobi with the clone troopers as his sidekicks that are arranged there. And then we have Mace Windu with clone troopers. So as you can see, all 3 of these characters all just have clone troopers as their sidekicks. But you can have all 3 of them on the board if you wanted to like absolutely crowd this thing. And they're all labeled with different numbers. And then lastly here, we have Luke Skywalker, who is a melee, with Princess Leia, that's a ranged. And obviously we have Darth Vader here. We're in the throne room, so we're going to pick Luke Skywalker to go against Vader. And then we will add those little cardboard punch-outs to mark that they are at full health. And then also get a deck of cards here for Luke. Place that to the side. And obviously we are going to need the miniature here for Luke and the miniature here for Leia. We will place Luke in his spots, and then Leia in an adjacent spot. So we're going to place him to kind of protect Luke there. And then the last thing that we will add is we have some quick guides here just in case you forget the rules as you are playing. And then the one thing that is not like Unmatched is that we're going to have this one die that everybody will share. So as you can see, we have everything set up. It is pretty reminiscent of Unmatched. You can definitely see the similarities of where Unmatched came from. But I want to kind of take you through a regular turn of Epic Duels here so you can kind of see where this game started at before it became Unmatched, and what stuff that they were inspired by and what stuff that they completely changed. So on your turn, you're actually going to be rolling this die to see how you can move your characters. So if you roll a green number here, we have a 4, a 3, a 5. I believe that's just, 4, 3, and 5. That means you get to move one of your 2 characters, or in this case, one of your 3 characters, that many spaces up to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 0. So you'd have to choose which of the 2 that you want to go, and that's all of your movement for your turn, unless you roll a red one here that says all 3, which means that you can move both characters up to 3 spaces. And that is more reminiscent of Unmatched there, because all of our characters have their move value, and you get to move all of your characters up to that many spaces. So it's very cool that with Unmatched, they just gave you basically this die roll every turn, and then every character kind of has their own specific die roll that they get on their turn. But you also have to spend that move action. This one, you just get it for free when the game starts. So now we can quickly grab our quick guide reference here. So what to do on a turn: you will roll the die and move your characters as we just saw, and then perform 2 actions, just like in Unmatched. So the actions are actually 3 different options here. We have to draw a card, to play a card, or to heal a character. So 2 reminiscence ones here, obviously with the player card, that's going to be like ones that are kind of similar to schemes or attacking. And then draw a card, just like that one, but usually in Unmatched you'd also get to move. And the last one, which is very interesting, it'd be cool to kind of see a character bring this back, is heal a character. So how to heal a character is you can only do this once your sidekick has died, and then you will discard a sidekick card to heal your hero by 1 point. So not super strong, but it's a cool way to get rid of your sidekick cards if they're gone, because obviously it's gonna be dead in your hand. But the most you can do is discard 2 sidekick cards to heal your hero by 2. So a whole turn just to heal 2 is not the strongest, but definitely great in a pinch, and also kind of a skip on your turn as well. And then it also does mention that you can choose 2 of the same or any combination of the 2, just like in Unmatched. And on the back here, it shows what kind of cards we have. We have combat cards, play face down to attack, play face up to defend. Power combat cards, play face down to attack, play face up to defend. Special cards, play face down and resolve immediately, and then healing a character. Discard your destroyed minor character cards to heal damage on your main character. So I kind of went through that a little bit, and then I'll explain these combat cards in just a second. So if we pull out our deck here, you can see it's quite similar to Unmatched in a few ways. So your regular card's going to look like this here. So they don't tell you which character it's for, you just have to know the characters. So in this case, we have a picture of Leia, so this card is for Leia. And I do see that the border here does match the colors, that light blue color of Leia. So when you're attacking, you play this face down, just like in Unmatched, and then they will choose a card to play face up, and then it changes the value depending if you're attacking or defending. So in this case, this card here is an attack of 4, so when you play it face down to attack, but if you're defending, it's only a 1. So not a great defend, and then as you can see, even though it has the same art, they do change values, and we have another one here also changing values. So that's kind of like versatile in Unmatched, but it changes value depending of what you're doing. But I guess you could see it as like a versatile 1/1 +3 if attacking, like as an immediately effect. And then you also have these special cards. I want to see if we have one of our double attack cards. Here we go. So some of the cards will have effects. So this one is a 7 attack and 7 defense. And then it says play when Leia's attacking and defending and draw a card. So it's a 7/7 and you get to draw a card when it happens. As you see, the balance of this game is not as streamlined as Unmatched is. And then we have these special cards. You can kind of think of these as schemes in Unmatched. And then it tells us we can play anytime on your turn. If Leia is adjacent to Luke, Luke recovers 3 damage. If Luke has been destroyed, Leia recovers 3 damage. And then if we have a Luke special card, kind of said once again, a scheme here. It says, I will not fight you. Choose an opponent. You and the chosen opponent reveal your hands. Both of you discard all cards with an attack value greater than 1. Very cool. I love some of the effects that we have on here. Then you can see there's a couple of ones like this guy here is an only attack. So you can't use this to defend, but you do get an effect when you attack. So it's an attack of 4. If Leia has been destroyed, the attack value of this card is 10. So he definitely gets mad and attacks back. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of Epic Duels. We can quickly also look through Vader's cards here. And as you can see, very similar to what we saw in Luke's there. These special cards are kind of like our schemes. We have our sidekick cards here, 3 attack, 1 defense, and then a Vader card with the same thing. As you said, you can kind of see exactly where Unmatched kind of got the ideas for the game that they started, but they really made their own. I think specifically the way that they changed the map layout in Unmatched was a fantastic choice. Because I guess I forgot to mention, whenever you are moving around, a melee fighter like Luke here can only attack if they are adjacent to each other, but ranged fighters can attack as long as they're in a straight line, that being diagonal or orthogonally. They can't go through spaces like this. So like this stormtrooper here can attack in any of these spaces, and then any of these spaces, and then any of those spaces. So ranged fighters were very overpowered, and melee fighters were still pretty good, but not as strong as they might become in Unmatched with the more balancing that they had. But this is a fantastic game, guys, and definitely one to also pick up if you are interested in it. Although, as I said, Unmatched is technically better, this game also has a fantastic community of people making custom decks for this old game from 2002. But before we go, I do have one more thing for you. Now, you might be wondering why I randomly have gone and made an Epic Duels game video. And it could be just because this game is so cool and it's fun to go back and see where Unmatched came from, but it's actually for a very special reason. A creator by the name of Koi here has gone through and made a full conversion of Epic Duels into Unmatched. Yes, all 12 characters that are in Epic Duels here, he has gone through and made not only a deck for all 12 of the characters, both the 6 light and 6 dark side, but we also have health dials here to go along with them. We have miniatures for all of the characters, and we even have full conversions of the maps from Epic Duels game. But although I'd like to go through all of these in detail, that's gonna have to be in another episode because my toast is burning. I gotta go.